Hey guys, it's Jamie here, and I didn't plan this video, but when people subscribe to my channel, I always check out and see if they have a YouTube, and if they have, I make time to go and watch 1 or 2 videos of theirs within the first 48 hours of them subscribing. And I saw on Curious Moon Designs, hi, thank you, a brilliant way to do a masterboard that had never occurred to me, so I'm going to do what all good crafters and people into art would do, which is copy it. Highest form of flattery. So a masterboard, for those who don't know, is, I'm doing it as a sort of glue book, is basically just sticking down loads and loads of scraps and creating a very, very random collage, because then you work on it. Sorry, this isn't working too well. I think it's a bit bunged up, so I'm literally dotting my glue about. Normally it comes out much better than this. This is just a white PVA glue. I have a ton of scraps. I mean, I was doing a scrap busting challenge yesterday and I still have a ton of scraps. So that is slightly disappointing. I'm not going to think about this because she did such funky stuff with hers that I feel that, hopefully there's enough glue on that. Yes, there is. I feel that whatever I do is going to be awesome, or I wouldn't say necessarily awesome. What I mean is whatever I'm going to do is cover up the fact that I'm not designing the masterboard. So I just want to get rid of some of this. Look at how much scrap I've got. I need to get this running a bit better though. Otherwise it's going to take forever. You're not going to hang around while I do this anyway, because that would be extremely boring. So I'm going to release the Kraken on this glue in a minute and finish this off. And as you can see, I'm sticking down some random pieces, mostly within the same colorway with the odd splash of color. I will come back when that is complete for the second stage of this process. I am so excited to do this. I have no idea how it's going to turn out, but I just want to see. At the end of the day, a masterboard is just a background. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if it doesn't work out. But I'm kind of cool with this process at the moment. So I've just put some bronze on of the acrylic pouring paints by Artesia. I'm just having a look to see what else I've got that I like. That's a gold. See, I do like my shiny. I've got a wine, a metallic wine red, so we're going very metallic. I don't know if these are going to smudge together and create a horrible mess or not. And then probably a white. Always a good idea to put a bit of white in things. Oh, let's try and find one that's actually open, seeing as I'm constantly opening whites. I've got about 3 in here, this set. I think it's 32. It's available on Amazon. If you like pouring acrylics, I've never actually poured with them. This is all I've ever done with them. So I'm just gonna literally roughly spread that out. And it is rough. I mean, that's already beautiful, isn't it? I could have done this straight on the page, I think. Never mind. What I thought I would do is reverse it so that you don't know the results until you look. Let's have a look then. Let's put that to one side. Grab the thing which is now dry, the masterboard, and hopefully pop it on and give it a rub over. And let's just see what on earth this looks like. And if I don't like it, we'll have to do something about it. How's that looking? It's nerve-wracking. Let's have a look. Wow. I'm just going to get some of this spare stuff on here because it's on and might as well. It's going to go all over my desk, isn't it? Where else is it wet? You see, this paper can then be used in projects as well. This kitchen paper, that's all it is. So that's quite beautiful to use as a shiny sort of vellum later. This was very, very random. I didn't really select the pieces, I just stuck them all down. And now I have just randomly added some paint. See what I think. I might roll over this because this has got some paint on it, not much. And now we get to play with this and see if we can make this into anything when it's dry. Anyone who watches my channel knows I cannot resist adding some gesso. I love that effect. I don't know why. It's just something about adding a bit of white, toning down the colours, but also giving that sort of old plastery look. Like, this is beginning to look like a really old house that's been wallpapered hundreds of times, and you're stripping back the wallpaper and you're just left with layers and layers of the original wallpapers kind of showing through. That's a big old white bit there. See if we can get that off a bit. Not that it matters. But this is what this sort of process reminds me of, looking at an old wall. And the advantage of this is it will have a slightly sealing effect on the masterboard itself. I want to throw some more colour down. No, it's just going mad, aren't I? I just feel like I want some of the shine to come through, and having gessoed over it all now, I'm not getting the shine that I want. See, this is all I do. I just keep playing and playing and playing until I get to something I like. I'll throw some of that wine red through as well because I really love that wine red. I may come back in with a bit more bronze. So all I'm doing is just adding and adding and adding to this till I get to something that I want to use as a background. And if you're sort of sitting there going, well, now we can't see the original, you're right, you can't. But you can a little, and that's the point of it. You can a little. And there's still more layers going to go on this before we even get to anything else. I am definitely at the stage where this is just a big old mess. And I don't know if I'm going to have a video at the end of this or not. I'm going to carry on and see if there's anything we can make this look like something. I don't know. I just don't know anymore. Let me get some stencil on here. Maybe this will help, maybe not. Let's have a look. Yeah, that made zero difference to anything. Ay, what are we gonna do? Could try some script. I might need to go to black ink stamp. Not my usual, but I might need to, because all these browns and bronzes together are not showing up. Let's just try a bit of script and see what happens. Yeah, that is so faint. You'd have to have, mind you, maybe it's better that it is faint. I could test a little bit of black, and if the black's too much, then we stick with the brown, because it is sort of showing through. I mean, how much do I need the script to show? I don't know. It's just a big mess at the moment. I feel I need to do something with it. I think possibly the black is going to be a bit more helpful than the brown. And I think I'm going to be ink stamping a lot of stuff. Right, let's grab another script stamp then. Try this new one that has fake ink blots on it as well. I'm just going to ink it up off camera. Oh yeah, that's better. Now I feel I'm getting somewhere. Still not really sure where this is going. Right. I'm going to treat this like it is a huge experiment, because it is, and grab a flower stencil and some paint, and then let's just see. Wow, that's a colour. Well, it'll stand out. Let's use a kitchen sponge. It's coming through on there as well. Awesome. And then see what happens if we do this. And heaven only knows what's going to happen, to be fair. Might just make it even more grungy and more messy and not something I want, or it may do something, who knows. I feel like I'm doing a really modern piece of art at the moment rather than journaling cards. Maybe this should just go in my new art journal. If I did autumn leaves, it would definitely have a fall theme, wouldn't it? Let's just see what's happening. Can you tell? Can you tell that's a flower? I don't know that's worth doing. I think then the gesso is going to come back out, as is the roller, and we're going to go over this slightly to dull it all down and then see how I feel, and then maybe cut it into some journaling cards and go from there, because we're playing and playing and playing and I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere at the moment. It's really, really odd, but I like that accidental ink splodge, paint splodge. Try a bit and see what happens. I know all this work and I just keep messing. But when you're not happy with something, you've got to somehow get it to do something you want it to do, I think. It's probably slightly too much gesso again. I just feel like I'm doing the biggest graffiti wall ever. Some of this tissue and try and get some of this up while it's still wet, where I feel like it's gone too thick. I'm having not the time of my life at the moment. Slightly different experiment to this page. So something I did like was when I accidentally, the paint accidentally kind of came through this. So I'm wondering if I do that, whether it will do the same again or not. Yeah, it does. I mean, I don't quite know what effect I'm going for now, so I might as well just... I wasn't going for this, I know that much. It's different. Trying with brushing some ink over, so this is less white, because it kind of looks weird, this white. I don't know why. So maybe if we get some ink over this, it is pretty dry. I know it, I've just painted it, but because I dabbed it up, it's just a big old mess. Oops, that's lifting. So which do we prefer, very white or off-white? And why? Why am I doing any of this now? Right, another idea. Let's try some green. See if that gives me an effect that I like. Now, that is better. Don't ask me why, it just is. Make an interesting background. I mean, I'm just throwing on the colours now. I do like this, even though that's not my colours. And I think this, I'm going to come in on this white with the brown again, because if I could get this to be a sort of smoky effect, then I might even start to like this. Okay, it's all right. I think all I can do is cut this up and see where we can take it. And here we have an example of how just cutting things up can sometimes change your mind about them. This is a tag. I have no objection to once the corners are rounded and it's been inked around the edges and there's a central image. Journaling cards or pockets, again, no problem with these. I'm actually quite liking that as a page decoration or a belly band. I'm beginning to quite like this. It's like a background paper, which just proves have confidence in what you're doing, because once you start to cut it up, it looks totally different. We're going to work on these and see what we can make these into. While things were drying, I also decided to back all of the different cards with some coffee stained paper or cardstock, depending. This one's coffee stained, so that I've got it there and I can cut things out and make journaling cards with them. I thought I'd at least make one, if not a couple more, and just see what they look like. I'm actually beginning to like them far more now they're cut up. I've inked the edge of this, but it could probably, it seems dark enough. This is the kitchen paper that I was putting the paint on when I did the paint on this background at the beginning of this video. I think those edges are inked enough. I was thinking of putting him there, but I think we need something. I mean, this looks like a border here, but I think we need something else as well. I'm sticking to similar brownish colourways, and I'm thinking of maybe punching some holes in this down the centre. I don't know why, just because. Won't necessarily be evenly spaced. I'm not too worried. Oh look, I've got all those little circles now as well. Those are kind of cool. Might be able to do something with that. And then I was thinking of layering that down the side that way. Throw some ribbon, or is that too shiny? Do we need something more natural like this? That's quite thick and chunky, mind. Got some thread, could just run some embroidery thread sort of along it, or across it, do a bit of modern art, bunch it maybe, and that, or a little piece of that Hessian-y stuff, just like a tiny little square. I think I'm getting an idea, so let's have a go. First of all, we have masking tape. I'm going to see if I can ink the masking tape. I'm actually standing up for this, I don't know why. Normally I sit down. This is the first time you've ever seen anyone try to ink the edge of masking tape. If I wasn't trying to show you, I could just hang it off the edge of the desk, and that would make it a lot easier. This is a backdrop for that. So there. Ooh, not quite. There. Now, although it's a journaling card on the reverse, I am going to stick that over the edge. I don't mind it being a bit scruffy on the reverse. With this, I can just redo some bits along here. You could ink this edge, run that down there, maybe slightly shorter, so we get a layering effect. Maybe bring the holes that way, and then we could do that with a number, or some of this and then a number. Yeah, I'm getting there. So let's get bird down, probably a tiny bit of that. I'm going to go with a tiny bit of this, only just bigger than the actual sticker. And you could do a little kind of bunchy effect with the thread. Quite arty, isn't it? Don't normally go that arty, but I quite like it. I feel like we could do something along, I feel like I want to do something. Got some washi. Let's have a look. Does that even make sense? I think to me it does actually. I don't know why, but that works for me. Have a London postmark. Just shove over that. We do have these. And scatter about maybe, or is that too much now? I feel even with the little spots it's not quite as integrated as I was like. I've just added some of the pouring acrylics into a bit of water, give that a mix up. failing to get it where I want it, but never mind. Okay, let's try it with the black. The only thing I'm not particularly happy with is this thread here. So I'm ripping apart a bit of this, just some edging, to get some threads out of it. Well, we've gone from me hating it to quite liking it so far. I'm not sure. I still think my favourites are those two. But this is the whole point of playing with art, isn't it? Is to try things, and if you don't like them, they don't have to go into anything, or they can just go into your own journals and not be given away. I'm quite liking that one. This one I think is okay, because you can see the 50 cents. This one's a little disappointing now. This one definitely not sure about. That one I just don't like. And this one I've yet to add anything to. And same with those. However, it has been a hugely long video, and I think I have managed to rescue some of this masterboard. And I'm just looking for what would be central features. Although, to be honest, I think it's just pretty in itself. I'm not sure that you need central features, but I just think it's beautiful to look at in and of itself. But I will keep working with this. However, this is what we've got to. 3 rejects and 4 that I would use. Thank you for your time. As you can see, when I say I'm a beginner and I'm learning and I'm playing, I'm not kidding. I am genuinely a beginner, and all I'm doing is inviting you to join me on this journey and make mistakes and have fun with it. And you never know, you might get something you absolutely, I adore this one. So you might along the way get one out of God knows how many that you actually love. If you've enjoyed this video and you don't mind following someone who makes mistakes and is happy to do so because it's part of the learning process, do give me a little subscribe. It does support the channel. Give me a like, a thumbs up, a comment, any suggestions for what else you'd like to see me have a go at, and I will say have a go at. And I will see you next time.